morning, everybody. Welcome back for workout 2 of the week. Today we have brought back our good old stability ball. We have quite a bit of work with it. So let me go through all of those exercises. The first exercise with that stability ball is going to be a lateral lunge shift. So this is very different than any of the lateral lunge work that we have done with the stability ball before. We're going to be focusing on range of motion and a little bit of stretching through the hips and the inner thighs on this one. It sounds fun, but we are using our glutes and our hips as well, and a lot of quad. So your legs are going to get tired as you go for a minute, but there should be times where you should be like, oh, this does feel pretty good on the inner thighs. Okay, starting position, feet are out nice and wide, as if you were into a comfortable lateral lunge. So nice and wide. Hands are up on top of the ball. The ball is our stability, for lack of better words, being a stability ball. It's our stability on this exercise. It's where we're going to lean a lot of our weight. We're going to move it with us. So I'm going to shift to one side of my lateral lunge and just kind of lean onto my ball. And then I'm going to roll it over and shift to the other side. Roll it and shift. Roll and shift. I want this ball to provide two things for you. Number one, because you're staying on the ball, it's not letting you stand all the way up and get a complete release from all of our hip and leg muscles. It's forcing you to stay down the whole time so that your hips are shifting side to side rather than coming up like a mountain. The second thing it's going to provide is a little bit of holding you up. That's the stabilizing part. So as I shift side to side, kind of leaning onto that ball a little bit, it allows me to sit a little lower than maybe I'd want to go if I was having to hold all my weight up. So it's kind of a tool to help you out. All right, so 60 seconds on that one, shifting side to side. As you stand up from that 60 seconds, if you were going down truly as far as you could and trying to make those hips open, you should immediately feel like it's kind of hard to pull your legs back together. Inner thighs are stretched all the way around the hip joint, and the glute medius are going to be tight and tired. Okay, next, we have a basic diagonal chop. So on our diagonal chop, important to remember that your hands are on the outside edges of the ball. They're going to stay there the whole time. What happens a lot is that we like to rotate the ball around. We end up using a lot of our shoulder rotator cuff muscles. We're trying to limit how much we use them. This movement is coming from the core, wrapped all the way around. So obliques, front side, back side, hips, glutes, all of that is what we're using here. Now I say on the list, diagonal chops left. You're going to be going both directions anyway, so don't worry too much about remembering which one you have to start with or which one is the left. Just make sure that if you go one way, when you switch to the other side, that you aim the other way. So I like to think about diagonal chop left is that I'm up on the left side, and then I come down on the right side. Low body is going to pivot every time. So I have one heel that comes up, then the other heel. One heel, then the other heel. I am not dropping down and standing up. Because this is geared toward the obliques, I'm not doing a big drop down and a big push up. So think about staying right in the middle, almost like a wood chop. Pivot, pivot, back heel up, okay? The ball is traveling shoulder height to hip height, shoulder to hip. So I'm at shoulder height to hip height, shoulder, hip. What you should immediately feel as you start these, and you're using your abdominals to stop you from going back behind your body, is everything through the middle kicks in. If you're feeling a lot of shoulder, this is most likely what it's going to look like. Now my hands, I got one hand on top, and I'm going up to the ceiling. We're not going that high. This is a core rotation here, no shoulders. So again, hands are on the outside. I'm starting at shoulder height, back heel is up, abs in nice and tight. I rotate, and I stop at hip height, shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip, shoulder. So when I switch to my right side, all I do is start up on my right side. So shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip. If you have any questions on that, start by looking in the mirror. Do you look like what I do with respect to, are you at your shoulders and your hips, and are you pivoting that foot? If the answer is no, or I have no idea, send me a video. Okay. Next exercise on that list is a reverse lunge with an overhead swing of our stability ball. All we're doing is changing the motion of the stability ball. By swinging it up, we are in a sense forcing our body down with a little bit of extra weight or intensity, which makes the lunge a tiny bit harder. So I'm going to step back with my right leg first. So I'm going to start with the ball slightly on that side. It's not going to make a huge difference. It's just right in front of my right leg. As I step back into my lunge, the ball is going to swing up over my head and then back together. Over my head, back together. That is basically your move. The reason that I like to put the ball to one side is that a lot of times when I come back together, I kind of feel like letting it swing next to my body. It's going to add a little bit more tension because it's coming with a little bit more speed. You're welcome to do that. You do not have to. It can stay right in front of you, no problem. Remember, our focus is on sitting that back knee as low as you can. So really try to get down into that lunge, ball all the way up overhead. Our last of all exercise is our V-up pass. It's been a long time on this one. So you're going to start on the ground, position my mat. Ball is going to start between the feet. All right, so we're taking our V-up in two parts. I have an upper body half of the V-up, and I have a lower body. So I'm going to start with my low body, abs in tight. If you need to, you can take the hands down and support them underneath the hips. Otherwise, try to keep them over your head. But abs in tight, you're going to give me the best leg lift you can. And it's going to stop right when it gets back over the hips. Not over your head, which is where you're going to want to go, but right over the hips. And then I'm going to sit up with my upper body and take that ball. Now the ball taps, go back up, put it between the feet, and lower body goes. Upper body, lower body. The key to making this one challenging, which obviously is your goal, is to make sure that when you bring the ball back with your feet, that it does not go past your hips. So it's my 90-degree level between my spine and my legs. That's as far as I want it to come. If I let it come any farther, I don't even have to pull my chest up to pick up that ball. But if the ball is on that side of my hips, now I have to actually sit up to try to go get it. And then when I go to bring it back up, I gotta reach and then squeeze with my legs to grab it. So make sure you're paying attention to where you keep your legs and how close it comes to you. If it feels super easy, check that you're not coming too far with your ball. Okay, so those are the majority of our workout right there. We're spending quite a bit of time with the 60 seconds of work, 3 rounds through. Then we have just a couple of Tabata intervals at the end. You're only working with 2 exercises. So we go from jump lunge to a sumo squat and oblique lift. Jump lunge, we all know by this point, modify as you need to. You can switch in the jump, you can come back to center, or you can step back and then jump back together. You know all of your options. If you can't remember your options, shoot me a message and I'll tell you what you can work with. The second exercise is a sumo squat and oblique lift. We've done this in our cardio workouts before. Hands behind the head, feet are wide because it's sumo. You're gonna sit down into that squat. When you go to stand, we got an oblique crunch out of one side. Knee comes to elbow, squat, knee to elbow, squat, knee to elbow, squat, knee to elbow. Remember, I'm specifically saying knee to elbow, not elbow to knee. So make that knee come up and meet. If you just drop your elbow down to your knee. Number one, you're probably gonna get dizzy, that's not cool. Number two, you're losing the oblique part. You're just letting gravity pull you down. So use the obliques to lift up that knee. That's block number one on your Tabata. The second one are the push-ups to flat and scorpion planks. We all know these from day one. Remember, our push-up to flat is just get to the ground, tap anywhere on your face, preferably not your chin, because it means you're gonna start pulling your head back. This is a good time to allow your face to just turn. And then back to plank. Drop it down, back to plank. And then our scorpion planks. From that plank, one foot comes up, drive back, center, drive back, center. So you got 20 seconds of the fall flat, 10-second breather, 20 seconds of the scorpion plank, and you're back to your 10-second breather. All right, guys, think long, slow, and steady on the stability ball work. When you get to the Tabata, think hard, fast, and strong, and then take those 10 seconds for a couple of nice big deep breaths to try to bring your heart rate to a manageable level to hit that next exercise. All right, guys, have fun. See you soon.